Hello everyone, this is Tony Messina, and my presentation will be on Contemporary Management, Chapter 15, Effective Groups and Teams. The article accompanying this presentation is on Google's Project Aristotle. I would like to start off by covering a few keywords from the chapter. The keywords I found important are group, team, formal group, informal group, group norms, group cohesiveness, and social loafing. I think the most important keyword here is group norms. Keep this keyword in mind as we move through the presentation and discuss Google's Project Aristotle. Groups and teams were two keywords identified in the previous slide. Now I would like to describe different types of groups and teams. There is the top management team, like your CEO, COO, and heads of various departments. A task force is a team put together by a manager to accomplish a specific goal. Command groups are, or more commonly referred to as departments, are subordinates who report to managers. Opposite of command groups are self-managed work teams who supervise their own activities. Then there's R&D, research and development, who work on next-generation technology. Finally, we have virtual teams, which comprise of people who do not meet face-to-face. An example of this would be global teams. In various groups, we are going to have group dynamics. These dynamics include the group size and group task. As an example, my company has decided to have 5 engineers per supervisor for our teams. There are 3 tasks that can determine a group's appropriate size. The 3 tasks are pool task interdependence, sequential task interdependence, and reciprocal task interdependence. See images on the right. Pool task interdependence is the individual member's contribution to a group's performance. Sequential task interdependence is when the group members must perform their task in a specific order. Reciprocal task interdependence is when each group member must work intensely with each other so the group can achieve their goal. The 3 distinct task interdependence describes how a group member's work affects the group's performance or another group member's work. Google's Project Aristotle was initiated to help them understand why certain teams were successful and others were not. Their hypothesis was that the most effective teams were made of the best people, not dependent on what type of task they were working on. So for the next 2 years, they performed over 200 plus interviews and measured 250 team attributes to understand what comprised the best team. Unfortunately, after 2 years, the Project Aristotle team had no clear pattern of characteristics for the perfect team. While researching, they found that psychologists and sociologists refer to group norms. Group norms are the shared guidelines or rules for the behavior of the group. With this idea in mind, Project Aristotle combed through their data, looking for team behaviors that improve the collective intelligence of the group. The 5 characteristics identified by the Project Aristotle team are dependability, structure and clarity, meaning, impact, and psychological safety. Dependability is the expectation that your team members will get their work done on time. Structure and clarity is the well-defined role of each member in the group. Meaning is the personal significance of the project to each member. Impact is the belief that the work is purposeful and will impact the greater good. Psychological safety is the situation where everyone in the group feels comfortable with each other with no fear of ridicule. The textbook identifies conformity and deviance as part of a healthy group. The group should have moderate conformity and moderate deviance. See image on the right. The right amount of conformity provides a safe and constructive work atmosphere, and the right amount of deviance allows each member to think differently without putting the group at risk. Thanks for listening, and I look forward to our discussion on Blackboard.